Yeah, can you take a couple minutes to share what your vision for the police department is and what opportunities and challenges you see?
My vision for the police department, I've been on the department for 32 years, born and raised here in Cedar Rapids. Currently, with the retirement of Chief Wayne German, there's been a very, very seamless transition to where we're at now with the interim chief, Deputy Chief Tom Yonker. Right now, I think the challenge is I want to continue what we're doing. I think we're moving in a great path right now. There are some areas where I would like to improve, tweak a little bit at the department. But right now, I definitely want to continue on with what we've been doing, and I want to expand our community engagement or community involvement with the police department.
Just to touch on that, can you talk about what areas you want to tweak and that you think can improve?
A couple areas that I'm looking at right now that I want to take into consideration with the department are maybe looking at some point addressing working different shifts, maybe different hours. But again, that's something that I would want to bring up with the department in and of itself. I wouldn't go in and do any drastic changes whatsoever. It's got to be talked about first. I'd also like to look at looking into some sort of succession plan for areas in the department for individuals that are coming up on retirement.
You mentioned your long, 3 decades worth of experience with the department. How do you view that as an asset if you were to become the next chief of the department?
With that being said, I've literally I've worked over half my life here with the Cedar Rapids Police Department. Throughout my career, I've been touched on every division that we have in our department. I know the inner workings. I know the individuals that work there, both sworn and non-sworn. The department is outstanding. With that being said, I know how our department works, what doesn't work for our department, and moving forward, it's just a benefit to be on the department that long and see the different areas and have a working knowledge and the institutional knowledge of our police department.
Being that you've been here your whole life, you know what the department's gone through internally, externally, as well as the city. How does that kind of build on your view, not only of the department, but how the department interacts with the community?
I will say this, when I started, we were under the commission form of government. So now we're under the council form of government. So I've seen that. I've been through, including the interim chief right now, this will be my 5th chief of police. With that being, with what your question is, I'm sorry.
How does having those experiences with this department inform your ability to lead it in your view?
And with the community? Mm-hmm. I know throughout my career I've been involved with community oriented policing. I was one of two of the first 2 bike members on this department. I interacted great with the community. I think I firmly believe that we need to definitely move on, or not move on, but increase the community involvement and community partnership. I see that as being an advantage to both the police department and the community itself, build trust.
Yeah, I mean, how specifically do you see the department taking that approach to involving the community and fostering those community relationships?
What I would really like to do is, in our community service division, we have a community outreach sergeant. I would really like to expand maybe that community outreach area to reach out to many areas. The sergeant, Jen Roberts, she does an exceptional job with reaching out to the community. She has an immense amount of contacts. I think that would be one of the things I would like to do, is expand that community outreach division portion and create a even more in-depth relationship with the community.
How would you balance backing police officers while fostering community relationships and reforming department procedures to center equity?
Equity within the police department, with anywhere, is of vital importance. I would foster it in any way I can. Our department right now, I feel, treats everybody equal. With that being said, it could be through training or any other situation at hand. But like I said, I think we foster equity in and of itself. Can we always improve? Sure. But it would be at that point that we would come up with a plan, and it'd be a collaborative effort.
What's your experience working with community partners to deal with gun violence, particularly among the youth in Cedar Rapids? As a member of the department, how do you see that moving forward, those efforts moving forward?
So when we first brought on group violence intervention, that's the group I believe you're talking about. At the time, I was the lieutenant of criminal investigations, and a lot of the incidents or the crimes that we were investigating involved a lot of these individuals you're speaking of. At first, it was, and I brought this up today, at first it was a little hard to take on to begin with, because that's typically, we haven't done that before, but as the program progressed, it's benefited. It's benefited. We reached out with, associated with, or assisted them in doing some notifications, and I think it's definitely created a better partnership with the community group, with the police department, and actually has made some positive efforts for curbing a little bit of the gun violence. Specifically, I mean, the last quarter of 2023, we're down about 30% on shots fired.
Is it possible to pull over a train? Sorry, I had to.
I can pause.
No, you're fine.
Official time.
It's nice to talk to somebody who's been in their place of work longer than me for a change. I wonder though, you've seen a lot of change within not just this department, but policing as a whole. Has that kind of evolved your sense of policing in terms of learning that, sometimes things that we're used to, sometimes things that we think were right and always right, sometimes we need to consider changing?
No, I absolutely agree with you. When I started on the department, I basically had a walkie-talkie, my gun belt. I did not have any sort of in-car camera. I did not have a body-worn camera. I did not have a taser. So technology advances as my career progressed. I firmly think there's always room for change, or always room for improvement. A lot of the times you hear that we do things because we've always done it that way. All that means is at one point that worked. It doesn't mean it works for everything, so I'm always open to any improvement, anything that will make a little bit easier for any officer that's working the street, or anybody at the police department, sworn or non-sworn.
What is your philosophy on school safety and police in schools?
My philosophy is schools, especially in nowadays, are an area that definitely need attention, and for safety reasons. I think it's absolutely great that we have school resource officers in our schools. At one point, I would like to get them back into the middle schools. I firmly believe that that interaction is a positive thing with students in the police department. I also firmly believe that they're needed in this middle school, because sometimes I believe that that's where you need to reach out to people before they get to high school and make a positive impact.
What approach would you take to transparency and information sharing with the public and with the media? And how have you promoted transparency in your current/previous departments?
Transparency with the media and with the police department is absolutely a necessity. It quashes rumors. It gets information out to the public on an event that's taking place. The other thing is if there's an investigation going on at the time, there are certain things that we need to hold close to our vest, so we cannot release all the information. Plus, that's based on the integrity of the case at hand, and also the protection of any constitutional rights of individuals involved, be it a victim, a suspect, or even an officer. But I think it is something that we can work on definitely, and assist the media.
Mental health, I know it's been an issue and initiative. Several departments across the country, including Cedar Rapids, have really taken up in just the last couple of years. So what do you think the department can do to be better prepared to support individuals who are dealing with a mental health issue?
We have an outstanding mental health unit that we partnership with Foundation 2. And going out into the public, into the community, and assisting any of those individuals any way we can. It's been a great resource to have with our department, and it has helped out, provided resources to those individuals that may be battling a mental crisis. So I would like to expand it and keep it going. That's a very good aspect that we now have at the police department that we didn't have in the past.
What role do you see civilian oversight having in the police department, as the citizen review board continues to kind of get off the ground?
I firmly support the citizen review board. I think that's a great way to show trust with the community. They do right now review some of the complaints that we have. They review data. I think it's just one way to continue partnership with the citizen review board or the community and not have anything to hide from the community.
What is your age and date of birth?
I am 56, and my date of birth is 9/15 in 1967.
I guess you were born and raised here, but being with the department for as long as you have been, what's the interest in this position now?
Born and raised here in Cedar Rapids, like I said, I have a strong tie to the community. I grew up in a family-owned business. It was Dostal Catering Service. We provided a service to the surrounding area, including Cedar Rapids and abroad. With that being said, I have strong ties to the community. This is where I was born. This is where I was raised. This is where I worked. This is where I live. And this is where I plan on staying. This is where I'm going to stay after I retire. This is my home. That is why I want to continue on. The men and women of the police department, sworn and non-sworn, are excellent individuals to work with. I'm proud of the department. I'm proud of the people I work with, and I want to, just do this for them and for myself and for them.
What would you say is, in your 32 years plus here, what would you say personally is your biggest accomplishment professionally?
I would say that I've had the opportunity to just my career progression throughout the 32 years. I started out as a patrol officer. I took on added duties and responsibilities. I trained individuals that came out of the academy. I earned the rank of sergeant. Had multiple opportunities there to work with the federal system in working drug cases. Upon getting promoted to lieutenant, I was able to work really closely with the county attorney, probably more closely than before. And now being promoted to the level of captain, I've taken on training in the Cedar Rapids Police Department Regional Academy. Just that in and of itself is rewarding. The fact that I had the ability and the opportunity, and I succeeded in progressing through my career through the ranks.
As you get to meet with the community tonight, interact with the community, what's the main message that you want to give them? What do you want them to take away from meeting you?
I just want them to know that I'm approachable. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to talk. It's about communication. I firmly believe that communication obviously goes both ways. And I just want to be open, be introduced to everybody, talk, and just know that I'm not only a officer or a police officer, but I'm also a person.
And we talked a little about technology already, but what are your experiences and results working with technology to maximize policing, such as automated traffic enforcement cameras?
I'm not going to answer that one.
45 seconds. Last question.
Anything else you think we didn't ask that you want the public to know about you?
I do want to know that, again, in addition to the fact that I'm a lifelong member here on the department for 32 years, my wife of 30 years is born and raised here. And the thing I'm really, really proud of is the fact that we have a 24-year-old son who is a member of the police department. He's a sworn officer with the police department and has been serving since 2021. And you will see him tonight.